Hi, it's Evan Grant from D Magazine's Inside Corner with Rangers manager Juan Washington. At this point, neither one of us is quarantined from the flu yet, so we're okay to talk to one another. But let's talk a little bit about the improvement in your defense. And I think, you know, people can take whatever metric they want, but if you look at the number of unearned runs you guys have given up, 22 through the first 92 games, whereas at the same point last year was 70, that really stands out. And when you take zone ratings and range factors and ultimate zone ratings out of it, and you can eliminate runs, what is the value of that?
Well, the value is exactly what you're seeing. Your pitchers end up throwing less pitches. They end up going deeper in a ball game, and instead of innings being extended, they end. That's the value of it right there, and it can't be put any simpler than that. And that's how important defense is, and it's nothing to be taken for granted, because believe it or not, defense don't go into slumps.
You guys are 10 games over 500 as we talk right now. How many wins do you think the defense has been worth?
Well, I would say it's 10 games over 500. The defense and the pitching is worth every game we're over 500. I think we got 51 wins.
Yes, sir.
I think it has to be about maybe, I'll take a round figure, about 35. And the other maybe 10, we pounded our way to it. And the other 4 or 5, you know, luck was in our favor.
Sure.
So you need some lucky games. You need some games where you just out-hit the opponent and score runs. But for the most part, our games have been where our pitching and defense has kept us in the ball game.
You know, Wash, when people discuss this defense right now and how much it's improved this year, there was a lot of talk about how good Chris Davis has been at first base. Obviously, Elvis's impact at short's been felt, and the move that Michael made from short to third. Your catching situation, I think everybody's given a whole lot of credit to Jared Saltalamacchia. But when I look at second base and the number of errors you have at second base at this point compared to last year, it's also a drastic reduction. Have you seen an improved Ian Kinsler defensively, a more consistent guy?
Well, what I've seen is Ian Kinsler that's more focused. He's always were able to do exactly what you're talking about right now. I always thought he could do that. But if you look back, I've always said also a lot of the time the things that Ian made mistakes on were lack of focus. I think this year, he's another year older. We all know how important defense is, and his focus has been tremendous. Not talking about his range, not talking about how well he can turn a double play. These are the things that make the difference in what Ian is doing, but majority of it, Evan, is his focus.
But I think one thing, you just mentioned the double play, and that's one other thing I wanted to touch on, because a couple times guys have talked to you about double plays this year. You've talked about these two guys being as good a double play combination as you've been around. What are their real strengths on turning the double play?
Well, their real strengths is communication. They always know where each other is. They always know where we want the ball according to, like you say, the grid on the infield, where it's hit. Each time a ball is hitting a certain grid, there's a certain place you feed the ball, and they know exactly that. And why do they know that? Because they worked on it for many, many times in repetitive fashion in spring training. So now that the season has started, they know each other. So the communication is the reason.
And you think that this defense has all been more a process than anything else?
Of course it's been a process, because I don't think defense was ever mentioned a whole lot here in Texas. And, you know, pitching wasn't on the top shelf here in Texas. Not that they didn't want it there, but we had to make the commitment to two things. And number one, it had to be the pitching, and number two, it had to be the defense. And we committed to that 2 years ago. And like you say, the process is finally taking hold, because you just can't go out there and pound your way to success. You have to bring what has to be at the ballpark daily, pitching and defense.
I think I actually sat in the stands last night with people, and I think that based on what I was seeing, people are actually starting to appreciate good defense and good pitching now. So I guess you're changing mindsets of fans too.
Well, you know, I don't think I'm changing them. I think the players are going out there and recognizing what it takes to be successful in the game, because they want to be successful. They're doing it. You know, we can do all the teaching and all the instructing we want, but it's null and void if the players don't go out and apply it. And each one of those guys out there take pride in what they're doing, and they're applying it, and there's the difference.
All right, Wash, I'd shake your hand, but I want to keep us clean, healthy. No flu over here. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You bet.